So thank you very much. Welcome everybody to another episode of Hot Song podcast. And the topic this evening is accepting karma. It's been maybe a couple of months now that I've tried to like each month I try to write down what it is that I have like aha moments within that month. And then this month I want to share with you all of you my own aha moment. One of them is okay. One of my aha moments is you know, my daughter was in and out. So she was coming back. She came back from she's studying outside of Toronto, not far, but still in Canada, but just outside of Toronto. And then she came back for a couple of days, and then she left to go travel because in the summertime she usually does a fair bit of traveling. And so she was in and out. And what triggered in me with my seeing my daughter is that I realized that the I would say the pattern that I have with my daughter is very similar to the pattern that I have with my mother, which is not good because I've been working on dissolving the pattern with my mom. And I've done a lot of work, and I'm quite proud of where I am with, in terms of resolving the relationship I have with my mother. However, with my daughter, though, I understand that there is still something that I can improve on. There's still room for improvement. So I've been kind of just thinking about it in the background and just noticing how I felt when she's around. And then all of a sudden, it just hit me is that I'm still resisting the relationship that I have with my daughter, the current relationship that I have with my daughter. And because of this resistance, that's why it is still it's still unresolved. So then what my resolution this what I realized is the resistance is there, and that I'm working on dissolving and resolving that resistance. And so that's why this whole May I've been just working on how to dissolve patterns, energy patterns, relationship patterns, and all of that. And so better now. It's getting better now. I think I like once I see that the resistance is there, it's like, oh, resistance is there, then just knowing, acknowledging is really the first step. And then the second step is really what I want to talk about today is acceptance. I was working on the acceptance. Acceptance for me simply just means that what is, whatever it is, whatever the situation is get to the point where you don't try to resist what is. It does not mean that you have to be happy about it. It just means that you see what it is and simply observe that it is what it is without um, having a story that wants it to be otherwise. Just be okay with whatever it is, whatever the truth is in this moment. So acceptance. And so I think of my relationship with my mom and my relationship with my daughter as something that is a karma. Why it is a karma? Because it's something that when I look back to my mother's relationship with her mother, which I don't know a lot because my 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 grandmother actually died when my mother was quite young. So it's that lost, that not there, that's been passed down through the generations, and is this loss. So resolving this loss is something that I'm just getting more and more present to. And so a couple of things that I realized. One thing is that um, when we're dealing with a pattern, everything in it adds to it. I mean, the sound, the sound effects, a person's voice, a person's smell, how they look, how it feels. Everything matters. So one of the thing is, I'm Chinese, but I'm not a very Chinese. For one thing, I've avoided Chinese customs tradition for the longest time. Avoid and do not like and resist and all of the whole nine yards. Is my English is pretty good. And it's been like I pretty much can dream in English for the longest time already. So I really adopted English, adopted Canada. And now that when I have to go back to I would say unhook these karmic experiences in the lineage, I find that the language part is very important. Even though I can communicate with my daughter in English. However, I communicate with my mother in Chinese. So which means that the Chinese language itself is part of that karmic pattern. So that's why I've been, I would say, immersing in the Chinese culture a lot more, and that's part of the unraveling of it. So that's why I just want to mention that for those of you who have who wants to deal with some karmic patterns, it's very important to talk to yourself or observe, or at least in your mind, is to go back to your mother tongue. Because language itself, each language that you learn, creates a different pattern in your mind. And you may think that, oh, okay, I communicate with somebody in English, or in your daily lives, you speak English. However, your mother tongue, even though you may not be speaking it or even using it much in your daily lives, it is how those karmic patterns has been passed down to you in that language, in your own mother tongue language. So being able to observe those patterns in the framework of your own mother tongue is part of the key. And what else can I think of to add to this? Acceptance, like really acceptance, does not mean you have to like something, or whether you have to choose something, but to just be able to look at something, observe something without trying to change it in this moment. Does not mean that you won't change it ever, but in the moment that you want to observe it, is to dissolve all the resistance that you have about something. So that's part of acceptance. So acceptance is very important. And I think of it as being when water pass through, it's like in a river. When water pass through land, the only time that the water cannot flow is when there is a stone there. So karmic patterns are like those stones that stands out, that blocks, that any so when you resist something, that's when you're putting those stones, and those stones will find a place in your body. It's represented in your body. So being able to work with your body and talk to your body in your own mother tongue, and also to truly accept something, is going to start to unravel it. So just doing energy release is not enough. You have to do some body work. Does not mean that you have to do no, nothing special. Just when you are observing something, just also pay attention to how your body feels when you are observing something. When you're thinking of, let's say, when I'm thinking of my daughter, I would observe how I carry my own body. Where do I feel the tension is in my body? And when I start to work on dissolving it, is to dissolve the stiffness in the body as well. So all of these are part of the pattern. Okay, let me just take a look at what else do I want to cover in this. Oh, okay. Observing. So how to observe? What do I mean by observe? Usually when it's something that you're resisting, there will be a story in your head. But at least that's what I observed in myself, is that I would have let's say when I was resisting my relationship with my daughter, is I would say it shouldn't be like something like it shouldn't be like this. I sacrificed so much, I've gone through so much with my daughter. How come, she is not seeing things my way? So these would be the story and the conversations that I would have in my mind. So I may not be able to completely let go of those conversations. However, I can observe those conversations. Just pay attention to those conversations, and just observe it without trying to repeat and give those conversations more power than it already has. So just observing without trying to add to those stories is the way to start to dissolve it. It who knows how long it's going to take. Nobody knows. Everyone's stories or I would say rate of dissolving these karmic patterns is different. So however, just being able to simply observe whatever it is. You may not be able to accept everything as is in this moment, but just even when you are resisting, observe your own resistance. So just observing something is acknowledging it. When you acknowledge it, then you always have a choice. Do you want to continue to give more power to the story or not? And so each time you observe something, you make a choice. You very unconsciously make a choice. And the more times that you can make a choice to let go of the power that this story has over you, then the easier it is for you to start shifting that conversation. And until at some point, even when you think of those things, it does not matter anymore. Like you won't get those stones will not be sticking up anymore. They would start to come down until there's no more stones, until when water goes past it, when your emotions, when you are going through something, there's nothing that is sticking out to block yourself. So that's what we want to get to at some point. And it starts by simply accepting what is and just observing everything, whether it's resistance or whether it is the story. So just observe simply means acknowledging that it's there. So that's actually all I want to say about okay, anything else that I want to say about patterns? No, I think that's all I want to talk about this evening. So questions, comments before we move on to releasing these things.
So you're gonna show us how to release it? So you have to release it because I also have difficult relationship with my daughter. So we have to release it. I have to release it in myself, right? I have to release it from my side. That resistance, because I feel like I accept it. I don't have resistance, all resistance from her side.
Okay. That's okay.
So I have to release it from me anyway.
So what do you think of, how do you feel about her resistance?
She gonna prove that she knows better.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that. Let she do whatever she want.
Okay, good. Yep, that's,
She's not succeed, but it's her choice.
yep, okay. That's good. That's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say that you don't have to do anything, just like she does not have to do anything. So just be okay with her the way she is. And that's all you can do. And don't let, so know that when you clear it out of yourself, then it is up to her to keep that pattern alive or not. However, when you clear it for yourself, then you're free.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can free ourselves. That's all we can do. Other people, we can't free anybody else. They'll have to look for their own freedom if they choose to.
Right.
Question, do you believe in cord cutting?
Oh, I believe in cord cutting. I used to do that with my clients, cut the cord. After session, I thought it's gonna help just, to release someone else's energy. And I didn't see that people after. So if I cut the cord, I cut the cord forever. It's not really good procedure. If you wanna cut the cord, you're really gonna cut the cord, but I don't want to cut the cord with my daughter.
My understanding of cutting cord is that you can cut.
I do like this in front, like I used to touch my client, like whole body, and then cut the cord, and that's it. Even people was happy with my service and never come back. Something was happened, but they never come back. I was so powerful on cutting cords.
The way I understand cord cutting is this. Yes, you cut the cord. However, the reason for cutting the cord is that you want to stop the energy flow for that point. And after you cut the cord, if you think about that person again, you reinitiate that. And you would want to do that because you may want to do that. Think of cut the cord first and then think about the person again to reestablish. So when you reestablish, you choose how do you want to be connected with that person again. When you do that, then whatever it is that you establish, it is going to be the going forward.
You mean when I cut the cord, I can think about the person, send him love, and invite him again, right?
Yeah, when you think about the person again, you actually reestablish another cord. So when you cut the cord and then you reestablish again consciously, you are consciously creating a new connection according to your intention.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So it does not mean that you cut it and it's done. You can never reestablish and
thank
you're
you.
gone. So, which is not always a good idea.
Thank you, Vinny.
Any other comments? Okay, so let's okay, so we are going into the okay, so this is the like I would say releasing karma thing that Sifu used. So I'm going to use that as well. So I just want to go through this with all of you first, and then we'll actually do 2 meditation. The first one is just to activate all the eyes. So the first thing is to actually just activating all eyes, and then after that, we will do this. So we'll do, just activating all eyes, and then we'll do the, dissolving karma. So the all eyes one, you guys already know, so I'm not going to go through that script with you, but the dissolving karma, I just want a couple of things I want to talk about. First is really activating yourself and activating your own soul profile. So when you are doing that, make sure you use your own full name at birth. You for those of you who are married or have changed your name, then, or like myself, like Winnie is not my name at birth. My name at birth is a Chinese name, so I would use that. I would use that name. So the name that your parents gave you at birth, that is the one that you're going to use. Okay, so full name, your own full name at birth is the one to use, because that's the one that has your own soul profile attached to it. And that that profile is kind of within your DNA. And it's so DNA that's 12 inch, but because we already have activated 12 inch in the previous meditation, I'm not going to activate it again. So we can actually just activate your own soul's name, which is your name at birth. Okay. And then pure energy, we've talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Pure energy simply means that, like when we are, there are, we have a couple of bodies. We have the physical body, we have emotional body, we have mental body, and then we have the spirit body. So pure energy is simply means that the emotional body and the mental bodies are shut down so that the spirit body can talk to the physical body directly. So that's what pure energy is for. Void activates. So in the void, that's when everything just drops off. That's why when we are trying to release anything, unhook anything, we use the void as a kind of a platform, a background or space to be able to do this easily. So so once we have these, then we just release all the things that may be that is going to make up the pattern, the karmic pattern. So that's what these three, you know, all negative attachments, unhook and dissolve, activate, and all these things. It's I added it's a little bit something there. Like, for example, all negative beliefs release, clear and purify, activate. So that's clearing is release, clearing. However, purify simply means that whatever it is that's been cleared and released, love, or I would say unconditional love, cosmic love, is being put back in there to fill up anything that's been cleared out. Okay, so that's what the purify is. And then, yeah, dissolve the karmic energies and all that. So that's all I want to say about this. Any questions or comments before we do the
I have
meditations?
question. I have question. So full name, it means you have to pronounce first and last name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Whatever
you.
name that you're given at birth.
But first and last, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. First and last. Whatever the name that you've been given. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that officially, or like I was given one name as official and last name and then official nickname at the birth, but
If
not
it's
written down. It was just verbal. Like nobody ever called me by my real birth name ever from my family.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father's decision was to give me a real like paper name by his sister, and then that other sister wouldn't get mad. I got immediately nicknamed by her name.
Okay.
So I guess I should
Interesting.
use
In
both.
my childhood, they also call me by nickname Tanya.
Okay. Okay, so let me just kind of just tap into what is. So the name that you're given plus the name that resonates with you most.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
Does that
Good
cover
answer.
everything?
Yeah.
Both resonate with me.
Okay.
Tatiana, it's a like full name, Tanya, nickname.
Okay. Excellent. Any other comments, questions? Okay.